Hey friends, I'm Kris. This is Through the Prism of Chrism. Through my lens of my iPhone, we started a new series yesterday on healing truths. We're going to continue that today, but today I want you to learn a couple of things. Number one, that God never changes. Malachi 3:6, I am the Lord, I change not. And a familiar verse in Hebrews 13:8 that says, Jesus Christ the same yesterday and today and forever. In other words, what he did in the past, he does today. And that relates to the three courts of the tabernacle: outer court, inner court, holy of holies. Or we could say yesterday is the law. And there's plenty of documentation of Jesus healing under the law. Today, that speaks of the church age or the day of grace or the dispensation of the Holy Spirit. You know, the Holy Spirit is in the business of healing people. In the Gospels, in Acts, Jesus was constantly healing the sick today. And then when we speak of forever, that speaks of the millennium and the eternal state where the leaves are for the healing of the nations. And so we document healing past, present, and future. In other words, what he did for others, he will do for you. I like the song that says, it is no secret what God can do. What he's done for others, he will do for you. That's healing in the present right now. Now, let's talk about the sameness of Jesus for a minute. One time I preached on Jesus Christ, the fame, and I looked in the Gospels where a fame spread round about because of him, because Jesus was constantly doing miracles and healing people. Jesus, the fame. Then we looked at Jesus Christ, the shame. We went on the top of Mount Calvary and saw the bleeding lamb that took our shame, our sickness on the cross. Then I spoke from the book of Acts on Jesus Christ, the name. You know, Mark 16:18 says, they are in my name, they shall lay hands on the sick and they shall recover. And then Jesus Christ the same, because the most important thing is to know that what he did in the past, he does today, because he does not change. Okay? Second point today. If he said he will, he will. Say that with me. If he said he will, he will. In John 2:19, tear this temple down, and in 3 days I will raise it up again. He said he will. Did he do it? Well, sure he did. You know, the problem with most people is they're just not sure about what God's will is when it comes to healing. And they pray a prayer like this: if it be thy will. Well, Jesus has already declared emphatically what his will is in Matthew 8:3, when he put his hand on the leper and said, I will be thou clean. Now, it's a recurring theme all through the New Testament. Matthew 8:5, I will come and heal him. Matthew 16:18, upon this rock I will build my church. Now, if he said he will, he will. And you can look all through the Gospels, and every time he said, I will, he did what he said he will. Acts 2:17, I will pour out of my spirit on all flesh. Well, listen, friend, look everywhere you look, you see the Spirit of God being poured out. Revival is in the air because he said, I will. And for us to be able to effectively pray, we have to know what the will of God is. So listen to 1 John 5:14. And this is the confidence that we have in him. I want to pray with confidence for you today. This is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, then we know that he hears us. And if we know that he hears us whatsoever we ask, then we know that we have the petitions that we desired of him. So I want you to get this into your heart today, that God is love. We saw that yesterday, that God never changes. He still heals today, and that we can pray effectively because we know God's will when it comes to healing. You know, I've written a book called, not Obamacare. Forget Obamacare. Obamacare is 20,000 pages. I've simplified healing to 138 pages. Call it Jehovah Care. Jehovah Rapha, the Lord our healer. And you can get this book on my website, KRIS.org. Go to the books page and you'll find it. But be sure to share this with people that need healed today, because God's will is for your healing. Tune in tomorrow. Have a great day in Jesus.